What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the NW Sportscast. My name is Levi, and today we're talking about Dylan Moore, specifically why I think the Mariners are doing Dylan Moore dirty. Guys, let's get into it. Dylan Moore is obviously one of my favorite players. If you've been watching the channel, I've been a big Dylan Moore fan, kind of had a love-hate relationship with the guy because sometimes I think he's one of the best players on the team, and other times I think, why is he even on the roster? But this year, Dylan Moore has really been a good player. He has an 802 OPS. He's hit 8 home runs, by the way, on pace for a career high of 22 home runs, and he's also on pace for his first 2020 season. He's been playing really well, 1.3 wins above replacement, which, again, he's on pace for a 3-WAR year. We're 1/3 of the way through the season, and he's on pace for a 3-WAR campaign, which would be his first. And yet, the Mariners are not playing him at all. The last time that he started a game for the Seattle Mariners, you have to go all the way back to May 27th. It's been a week since he has started a game, and it appears that the Mariners have basically just decided that they don't need him in the starting lineup. Now that Cole Young is playing second base, you would think that the Mariners could shift Dylan Moore over to third or maybe to right field, but instead they're just leaving him on the bench, and it's really kind of infuriating to me, not only as a fan of Dylan Moore, but as a fan of the Seattle Mariners. I mean, if you look at what Leody Taveras has done for the Mariners, it's not even close to what Dylan Moore has done. Leody Taveras, he's playing every single game. He has started 5 games since the last time Dylan Moore took the field as a starter. Here's what Leody Taveras has done for the Mariners this year. In 23 games, he's hitting .192 with a .210 on base, .308 slugging. He's hit 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in, 2 stolen bases, and a negative .2 WAR. He has an OPS plus of 51. That is Leody Taveras, 51 OPS plus, and it's not like he was much better with Texas. At Texas, he had a 73 OPS plus, so overall on the season, he has a 62 OPS plus, negative .2 wins above replacement, and 3 homers with a .217 batting average. Compare that to what Dylan Moore has done, with a 1.3 WAR, a .264 batting average, an 802 OPS, a 134 OPS plus, which is almost the best of his career. Not only that, I understand his defense hasn't been fantastic this season, but he was a Gold Glover last year. I mean, legitimately, the fact that Dylan Moore is essentially getting sidelined, it makes no sense at all to me. When you have an opening, I mean, right field has been pretty much a black hole for this team. Why are we starting Leody Taveras every single game when we have Dylan Moore sitting on the bench? It makes no sense at all. And speaking of players who really shouldn't be playing every single game, I'm sorry, but Ben Williamson is not better than Dylan Moore at this point in his career. So far, Ben Williamson this year, he has put up 0.3 wins above replacement compared to Demo at 1.3. Ben Williamson has 1 home run compared to Dylan Moore's 8. Ben Williamson has 1 stolen base compared to Dylan's 8. Ben has 5 doubles. Dylan Moore has 4. Ben Williamson has 13 runs batted in. Dylan Moore has 16 runs batted in. Ben Williamson has a .250 batting average compared to Demo at .264. Williamson's on-base percentage is .280 compared to Dylan Moore, .322. Dylan Moore has a .481 slugging. Ben Williamson has a .306 slugging. And if you look at the OPS, Ben Williamson has a .586 OPS, a 73 OPS plus. That is 220 points lower than Dylan Moore at an .802 OPS and a .134 OPS plus. And yet Dylan Moore just isn't getting at-bats. It is absolutely insane. Since May 28th, he has gotten just 4 at-bats, and he is obviously 0 for 4 in those 4 at-bats. But before that, he went 3 for 4 against the Nationals with 2 doubles, and then since then, he literally hasn't started another game. What are they doing? I'm sorry, what are they doing? You're keeping one of your best players on the bench, not even giving him a chance to hit in the lineup. Meanwhile, Ben Williamson at third base can't hit at all for power and is, barely staying afloat there. Leody Taveras can't hit for average or power, and yet you don't play Dylan Moore. I mean, it's crazy. It's honestly quite infuriating to me what they are doing. I understand he's a platoon guy. I know he hits better against lefties than he does against righties, but you have to give him an opportunity because the guys that you're currently throwing out there in the 8th and 9th spots in the lineup are not getting the job done. I honestly, it's crazy. I mean, Dylan Moore was literally an American League Player of the Week, and now he's gone from that to not playing, and his stats are good. And it's not like his splits are that bad. Like if you look at the monthly splits, to bring up May and June, because I think maybe he did definitely get worse in May than he was in April. But if you look at the April versus May, in April he hit 286, but even in May he's still hitting 237. In April he was slugging 550. In May he's slugging 390. Even his May stats are better than Taveras and Williamson. The problem is they're not even giving him a chance to play anymore. He started 18 games in April. He started 15 in May. And I know it's only June 3rd, but so far he hasn't started any games in June. Ben Williamson has started more games this season than Dylan Moore. So has Rowdy Tellez. So is Jorge Polanco, who has similar stats. Pretty soon, Leody Taveras will have started more games. And it just doesn't make much sense because Dylan is actually hitting and playing really well, and yet they're just not even giving him an opportunity. Yeah, I mean, even in the month of May, Dylan Moore has a 682 OPS. That's still 100 points better than Ben Williamson. So, don't tell me that this guy doesn't deserve to be playing. And by the way, if you want to say, oh, he's better off the bench, that's a lie. Dylan Moore off the bench, in 18 at-bats, he has just 2 hits. So he's really not that good off the bench. As a pinch hitter or a pinch runner or a pinch fielder, he hits 154 with a 389 on base percentage. So he does draw some walks, but he doesn't have any extra base hits as a pinch hitter. A 543 OPS. As a starter, he hits 276, 312 on base, 517 slugging, and an 829 OPS. So yeah, he's better when he starts. He's not very good, actually, when he is coming off the bench. He hits really well out of the 7 hole. He hits really well out of the 6 hole. He's not as good at leadoff, and I never really understood why they like to throw him out there at leadoff. But if they can hit him 6th or 7th or 8th instead of Williamson, I get what they're trying to do. Like, they're trying to develop Ben Williamson, I guess. But Ben Williamson is clearly struggling. He's flailing. He only gets singles. He can't walk. He can't hit for power. And his defense has been pretty much average. So the idea that Ben Williamson has earned this opportunity, no, he hasn't. Dylan Moore has earned the chance to play every single day, but they're not letting him. And instead, they're sidelining him for inferior players for, I don't even understand why. I really don't. Either way, that is my take on this situation. Guys, if you disagree, let me know. But truthfully, to me, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, you have to get this guy out here. By the way, against right-handed pitchers, if he's so bad against right-handed pitchers, Dylan Moore against righties, 3 of his 8 home runs have come against righties. 4 of his 5 doubles have come against righties. 8 of his 16 RBIs have come against righties. All 8 of his stolen bases have come against righties. He has a 253 batting average against righties, a 276 on base, and a 410 slugging percentage against righties. So even against right-handed pitchers, which is supposedly his weak side, he has a 686 OPS against righties. He has a 1.002 OPS against lefties. So I understand what you could say, well, he's so much better against lefties, just play him only against lefties. But here's what I'll say. Against righties, 686, that's still better than Ben Williamson has been this year by quite a bit. Ben Williamson against righties in the same season has a 556 OPS. So why would you take the guy who's 130 points worse to play third base? It doesn't make any sense. And let's look at Leody Taveras against righties again. How has Leody Taveras fared against right-handed pitching this season? This season he has Let's find it. He has a 534 OPS, so even worse. So, again, you can say, well, Dylan Moore isn't very good against righties. That's why he's on the bench. What I'm telling you is Leody Taveras and Ben Williamson are both over 100 points worse against righties. Dylan Moore at 686, that's pretty darn good, actually, compared to Ben at 566 and Leody Taveras at 534. So don't tell me it's about the platoons. It clearly shouldn't be. They're choosing players that are much worse and much worse against right-handed pitching. Again, it doesn't make any sense. That's the end of my rant. The Mariners, play Dylan Moore if you want to win.